I'm back in the middle of the development of the Schumann Quintet first movement. We're busily working on eighth notes. And I was smart to stop before. Although I wasn't right at the edge of the memory of my camera, I was getting close to the point that if I stayed in that groove for too much longer, I would have been talking to a camera that smiled benignly with its red light, but doesn't tell me that it's run out of space. So perhaps as a practice ingredient, I need to set a timer that has the same limit as what the camera says it has. In other words, if the camera says there's 30 minutes to go, my timer would say 30 minutes, and it would ring to tell me the camera was done. That's a practice technique. It may not sound like a practice technique, but in this particular case, because I'm forging a relationship with you and this camera, it makes perfect sense for me to find some way to be aware of any time constraints I might have. It's just like any practice technique, where if something is not working or something has a certain inherent limit or challenge or whatever, your awareness of it and your ability to find a solution is an important aspect of your craft. So, note to self, set a timer if you have even the remotest sense that you might run out of time in the videotaping. What do we call it now? Video solid stating? Video SD carding? I'm willing to entertain any suggestions for how our nomenclature should change. Turn the page. So I have 2 measures worth of this, so it makes a whole lot more sense for me to turn the page early while I'm practicing, and also once I'm used to it, to mention to my page turner during performance that that's where I want my page turned, so that I will be ready for what's new. Okay, so just as I did in the first version, where there was white, black, black, tilt, black, black, white, tilt, white, black, white, balance, I need to remind myself what these distinctions are. White, black, white, white. I've already forgotten. Same thing. And then the second one is white, black, white, white. And then the third one should be clearer in the page. I didn't draw a big enough line. So white, black, white, white, black, white, white, black, white, white. How about that? All 3 of those in the second mega statement, all 3 of those have the same basic physical sense and posture. So. This is different. The first version had all black notes, and so it's a little bit odd to use the same fingering solution with a dramatically different hand feel. Good. it's a very simple solution to tell myself the sensation I'm expecting. Same thing goes for the next chord. 3 black notes on the first one, 3 black notes on the second one. That's nice. It's a very odd sensation. It's not a bad sensation. These weird mixtures of fourths and thirds and require an identity. I need to have developed a sense of their quirky identities. Yes. I didn't do my turn fingering, and everything fell down from me. Can't be a shock. Turn. I certainly have to note the fact that the G flat, or the G flat position I ended on, is where I'm going to carry on. So I go from G flat and E flat, and E flat. My basic placement in space on the piano, in other words, is right there. The only difference is my hand shifts. One adjustment is I'm going to put my third finger on the very end. It shifts my hand over. Oh, that's so much nicer. Shift my hand over. Yes, indeed. Third, and then my turn finger, but in a funny tilt, not all black notes. I need the strategy for how I make the octave shift. In this case, at least for now, is what I'm going to look at. I'm going to look at this low A flat. Look early. There's no reason to be staring at my hand, playing stuff, when I know exactly where my hand is. There's no payoff for the feedback. The payoff is here, that I look where I'm going. I sort of looked furtively before. I know approximately where A flat is, then I center on it. Oh, there's A flat. Oh, there it is, and I can do it calmly. But then I have to, of course, have confidence in where my left hand goes. By enharmonics, especially Schumann's use. C flat, A flat, E natural. looks like an E major, feels like an E major, but in context doesn't sound like E major. So. It's so compact as a sensation after all of these more open positions, it feels quite weird. So I have to become used to it, for fear that my body won't find that familiar and appropriate. So. Okay. There it is, but I didn't remind myself. E flat. Yes, and the rest has become more automatic. I didn't even tell myself A flat that time. Which is very comfortable. But it's so different from what I'm used to with all these fifth fingers that I'm wondering whether its uniqueness is inappropriate. Because everything else is fifth around here. The other reason I'm suspicious of it is because the fourth plays such an important part in my turn finger on the next chord. So I wonder, having a more passive hand position here, even though it involves a slightly bigger movement into the keyboard, I'm going to go with that instinct right now because I am strangely rebelling against that fourth finger. There's no reason to suspect that that rebellion isn't for a purpose. I think so. I think I outsmarted myself before. Fifth, I still didn't get the lead. Look at C sharp. At the back of my mind, I realized I could invest an awful lot of time in this passage. So I had mentioned previously in discussing my last Schumann rehearsal that I need to go to other movements that have other tricky parts. So I'm going to do that, and I hope to have time to come back today later to this passage. But I'm feeling better, so that's a good sign.